A new conflict has erupted between Israel and Palestine. On the morning of October 7th, at 6:30 a.m., while most Israelis were asleep in their homes, air raid sirens suddenly blared and thousands of rockets were fired at Israeli cities. The Israeli Defense Forces estimate that 2,200 rockets were launched, while Hamas claims the number is 5,000. Israel has the highly advanced Iron Dome system for air defense, one of the best in the world for intercepting and destroying any danger like missiles and rocket in mid-flight. But it failed to intercept this massive barrage of rockets, as 5,000 rockets were fired within 20 minutes, resulting in numerous casualties. This surprise attack is the most significant in decades of Israel-Palestine conflict, reminiscent of the Yom Kippur War that occurred 50 years ago, where Egypt and Syria launched a surprise attack on Israel in October 1973. Hamas launched a multi-pronged attack from the ground and air, in addition to rocket strikes, which is similar to a full-scale war. They also attacked with speedboats from the sea. Many Palestinians entered Israeli territory after breaching the Israel-Gaza border with a bulldozer. Hamas captured an Israeli tank, soldiers and civilians and held them as hostages. Armed militants of Hamas infiltrated border area of Israel and killed many innocent civilians. Israel responded with a declaration of state of war and incessant airstrikes in Gaza, resulting in thousands of Palestinian casualties. To understand the context clearly, we need to take a look at the map of Middle East closely. Israel and Palestine are situated in the Middle East, with Lebanon on the north, Syria on the northeast, Jordan on the east, Egypt on the southwest, and Mediterranean Sea on the west. The Palestinian territories consist of the West Bank and Gaza Strip. The Israeli settlements in the West Bank are a point of contention, as they are considered illegal by the United Nations and many countries. West Bank is in the west of Jordan and is controlled by an internationally recognized political party named Fatah. On the contrary, Gaza Strip is governed by an extremist Palestinian organization called Hamas. Fatah and Hamas is fighting for their motherland but has conflicting interests between them. Fatah is considered as a terrorist organization by many countries like the USA, the UK, Canada, Australia, Japan, Israel, and European Union. On the other hand, Brazil, China, Egypt, Iran, Norway, Qatar, Russia, Syria, Turkey does not recognize Fatah as a terrorist organization. In this map, Gaza Strip is shown in red color and Israeli territory infiltrated by Palestinian militants is shown in color blue. The current conflict is named Operation Al-Aqsa Flood by Hamas military commander Mohammed al-Dayef in response to what Hamas sees as Israeli atrocities on Palestinians, particularly at Al-Aqsa Mosque. Israel launched Operation Iron Swords in retaliation, deploying its navy, air force, and ground forces and cutting off electricity to Gaza. To a large extent, electricity is supplied through Israel in Gaza. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said at a television address, "Citizens of Israel, we are at war and the enemy will have to pay an unprecedented price." Israel Defense Minister said that Hamas has made a huge mistake and Israel will eventually win this war. The conflict sparks debates about the effectiveness of Israeli intelligence agency Mossad. Mossad is one of the most powerful intelligence agencies that have informants all over the world, even in the Palestinian military groups. Mossad agents have carried out precise timed assassinations of major military leaders in the past, but failed to intercept Al-Aqsa flood. It is surprising that despite being a powerful agency, Mossad had no clue regarding the rocket stockpiles in Gaza. Despite having cameras, ground motion sensors, and regular army patrols in Gaza-Israel border, they could not prevent this attack. Israeli government is facing criticism domestically and people of Israel is asking about intelligence and military failure of IDF, police, and security. An article from the Times of Israel claims that Egypt's intelligence officials had warned Israel repeatedly that something major was about to happen, but surprisingly those warnings were ignored. In contrast, the international community has diverse responses to the situation, reflecting differing geopolitical interests. The US President Joe Biden shows rock-solid and unwavering supports in favor of Israel. The European Union condemns the attack while recognizing Israel's right to defend itself, as well as asked Hamas to release hostages immediately. Iran, a major supporter of Hamas, views Hamas's actions as self-defense by Palestinians, and Egypt is working to ease tensions between Israel and Palestine. Mahmoud Abbas, the Palestinian president, said that the Palestinians have the right to protect themselves against the terror of the settlers and foreign troops. Israel-Palestine conflict has a long history that begins with Jews' persecution in Europe for centuries, and to save their lives they migrated to Palestine, but now unfortunately Palestinians have been reduced to refugees in their own country. So Palestine peoples demand to live with dignity and freely in their own independent motherland obviously deserves support, but not by supporting killing of the common people of Israel. It is true that there has been injustice against the common people in Palestine, but killing the common people by Hamas in Israel can never be justified. Israel is a military superpower in that region with a democratically elected government. This is why Israel should use its powers responsibly. Israel is trying to show the world that they are carrying out their counteroffensive responsibly by issuing 10 to 15 minutes warning to the people to evacuate the building or place before the bomb could hit it. Although Israel claims this, but in truth many Palestinian civilians have been killed by Israeli airstrikes. The conflict has caused great suffering on both sides, and there are extremist voices that support complete destruction of either Israel or Palestine, which is concerning. It's essential to remember the human cost of war, as ordinary families on both sides live in fear, the life come to a halt and civilians are affected by the violence. Ultimately, it is hoped that a lasting peace can be achieved, but the current situation suggests that the conflict will continue for an extended period. If you think this video is informative, you can also watch other videos on my channel. Subscribe for more. Thank you.